Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I'm doing a live event with a big voucher giveaway, and I'm hanging out with a great amount of people with a blowing up chat. But one of the questions that just dropped was tank recommendations for the green team. And so we're looking at all the modern cards that could be applicable within the modern league specifically. A focus on that because the newer players are going to be looking at that league first and foremost. They're usually the more affordable cards. They're going to be playable in that modern league and theoretically in the wild. So there's a lot of interest there. So let's focus on green. But notice the filters. We're using green, reward, untamed, dice, and chaos. Those are the newer cards. And we're looking at not just green, but dragon and neutral. Let's look for a tank. Right out the gate, you guys know what I have to say about these two cards. Gargoyle Lion and Mercenary are two amazing tanks that everybody must have. Period. These are the cheapest cards in the game, and they're useful. If you're playing at silver, the Gargoyle Lion is going to be able to go up to, I think, level 5, which has Void. Void makes it resilient, makes it more of a tank right off the box. Then you got Flying, right? Flying is going to make it more evasive. Its speed is quite slow, which is a problem. That's one of its limitations. Plus, it doesn't have a huge amount of hit points. Again, that's one of the limitations, but this is an interesting option to have in your arsenal, especially for 9 cents. This is a must-have card. At silver, maybe not at bronze, but at silver, yes. At gold, definitely at the highest diamonds and champ level. If within rage, this card is really, really good at the highest levels, especially when you can attack from any position, because you can slip a card like this that doesn't have a lot of hit points into a safe spot, like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th spot, 5th spot. And why would you do that? Well, it doesn't have a lot of hit points. So if your enemy drops magic on you, he's going to die quickly. But you put him in the back end, he's going to stay alive longer. He's got enrage with a good amount of hit points at the highest levels. And I love this card for 9 cents all day, every day. And Pellicor Mercenary is even better. If you're looking in the gold level, this is one of the best tanks that are available in the game. I think, period. Like from the new, especially from the new side. And I'm not exaggerating. From the gold level, it's got tank heal. It's got 9 hit points. It's got 3 melee and 3 speed. Plus, it's already got flying, which is increasing your ability to dodge. This card, to me, at gold and above, is a carry card. And you could picture this thing being utilized with. In fact, I've seen it being utilized with Kron. No, I mean Scarred Llama, and it's so powerful. It's got a huge hit points. It's got 1 armor, which is nice because again, you're gonna take some of those big hits and it's just gonna be erased because of that 1 armor. I love this card, and Retaliate also is such a powerful thing. So this card to me for green it's just a no-brainer with that price. Hill Giant is a good one in higher levels. I don't like it for low levels. If you're playing in gold and above, you're gonna want that card because it's so cheap, like mana wise, and it does have stun at the gold levels. Disintegrator is fine. I like this one at higher levels in particular. I don't really like it for silver because again, trample is not going to be adequate. At two melee is just inadequate to trigger trample. You need to get into 8, 9, 10 max level to really make it worthwhile. Harvester is amazing, and it's still relatively cheap. It's got Oppress, which, how many times do you lose to Gelatinous Cube, the neutral monster that has Scavenge and Self-Heal and Void? That card just out-heals you. You hit it for 3 damage, and it heals 6. But with Oppress and Enrage, this thing can hit for, theoretically, 4 at Enrage is, I think, 6. 6 plus Oppress would be 12 melee damage. Even at kind of gold level. Again, gold level, this is a really, really good card. And at silver level, it's a fine card for the price. Fine. Not amazing, but fine. The Knifer isn't really what I would consider a tank, but it's an interesting card. And at bronze, I could see this being very helpful. At bronze, I could see this being a tank. At silver, I could see this being a tank. At gold, it starts to become the backfire is good, but in gold and diamond and champ, this is going to be less effective. But I like this card a lot. For this price, if you're playing in low levels, this is going to be a serious contender for a tank. But I don't I don't say that this is better than Pellicor Mercenary. Maybe I do actually. If you're playing in silver, yeah, okay. I'll concede that. If you're playing in silver, the Venari Knifer is a serious choice. Okay, what else? I like this one for slow, for those reverse speed games. It's very good with the shield. That makes it so much more resilient. Giant Killer, as there's so many more 10 mana cost monsters. This is silver, so, you know, there you go. For silver, I say Mycelic Infantry and Knifer. For gold, I say Pellicor Mercenary, Giant, and Harvester. Let's see. And you're going to want one of these. It's not a tank exactly, but it is also. It's like an off tank. Because of the taunt, because of the force field, you're going to want this to get the force field. And it's going to be a tank for you because it's got a huge amount of hit points, and the taunt is going to attract all the archery and magic. So, and then the force field is going to elongate your team's survivability. Okay, so there you go. Those are my picks for must-have green and neutral. I like Chwala also, and Failed Summoner, but that's nope, that's not news to anybody. Okay, now we're gonna do another giveaway. Oh, and this card is crazy. Grund is crazy, but the cost is huge. So, but I think this is gonna be way more than $11 one day. This card is too good. Right now it costs about $500 to get a max copy. This card is amazing. It's not okay. It's amazing. And so even at bronze, it's amazing. At gold, at silver, it's amazing. At every level of the game, this card is absolutely a carry card. The only problem with it is that it doesn't have any sort of void or shield. But in the right context, this card is going to carry you. So this card is necessary, but it's expensive. So that was green. We're going to look at fire. I'm going to try and give 3 tanks. I'm going to try and be quicker now that I went through the whole, including neutrals and dragons. I'm going to try and be quicker. If you're playing at a high level, the Heatsmith to me is a very important off tank. I say off tank because it does have 4 shields and 4 hit points, giving it 8 hit points. With void armor, that's 8 full hit points, even if you're fighting against magic. It's got thorns and amplify. To me, this is an off tank. In low mana matches, I really like it at the highest levels, but not at small, silver or bronze. Minotaur is a cheap option, but it's not great. It's just okay. I like it, especially if you're playing a reverse speed, which you do need to have those options. This Twilight Basilisk is a secondary tank that you're going to want. I think it's quite good. Even at silver, you're going to get 2 melee with a good amount of speed with the reach. I like this. But if you can get it up to level 5, that's ideal. You're going to get that stun. That's where it really becomes really, really important. That's silver and above. We didn't talk about the Naga Brute, but this is another option for, for silver and above. This I love this card as an off tank, a non-attacking tank. It is a little bit more expensive, and you need 60 copies of it to get it times 70 cents, but it's pretty good. Especially when it's equalizer match and you get the 7 armor plus like 7 or 8 or 10 health. Zenith Monk we didn't talk about, but this is a card that you're gonna, at the silver levels, you're gonna have self heal and 2 hit points or 2 melee. It's not amazing, but for 4 mana cost, it's pretty good. It's expensive though, but keep an eye on that one. It could be way more expensive. It could be $2 or $3 per, so keep an eye on that one. Like I said, Jinchwala, kind of at all levels, right out the gate from bronze all the way up. Forgotten One is amazing. It is expensive, but you really, at the lowest levels, it's going to help you at, this is epic. So at level 3, you're going to get Retaliate. I like that. And then at higher levels, Piercing. I really like that. Good card. Okay, I'm going to check back on. I didn't talk about the dragons exactly. This Void Dragon's an amazing tank option because it's got flying and void and phase plus good speed. This is like a tank option. It really is. And then Desert Dragon, I don't love this one though. And Chaos Dragon, I do love this one. This is a very powerful card, and you absolutely could put it in the first position if you wanted. So, and then Robo Dragon, but that's $50. So that's all I'll say about that. We'll do blue next. Let's check out blue tank options. Try and move a bit quicker. That was pretty quick. Cetharopod, excellent card as a little leagues tank, and especially at the highest levels. But I love this card as a distraction meat shield in low mana matches. Absolutely, even at silver, even at bronze. Very, very good for 10 cents. This one I like a lot. It's so quick. Flying Squid, 4 speed within the kind of the gold level battles. Do you get level 6 in bronze? I gotta check that. Over here. Leagues. Or not bronze, I meant silver. At silver, you get level 5 common. Level 5 common. Level 5 common. Okay, 5. Okay. So this is common. So yeah, you won't get blind, unfortunately. I still like this. 9 hit points, reach, 4 speed, 3 attack. I really like this. It's a secondary tank, but I really like it. I told you about Basilisk. Demented Shark, I think, is a necessary card. It's not really a tank, but it is kind of in the right context. Demon Shark is absolutely amazing. I love this card, and I can't believe it's 65 cents. Again, I think anything under $1 for a rare card is a very good price, a reasonable price. You could get a max level copy of this for $75 US, which is so cheap. It's got Trample, it's got Enrage, it's got Retaliate, it's got a huge amount of hit points and armor. It's under 10 mana, which means that it's not going to be susceptible to Giant Killer. This is a card that, I think at every level you're going to want. I think that's it, because the rest of the ones we've already looked at or talked about. You're going to want you're going to want the Wave Brood. It's not a tank, but again, it is. You're going to put it in the right position, and you're going to use it to be a distraction, allowing your Demon Shark to stay alive longer. So it is a tank in a sense, right? Even though it doesn't play usually in the first position, but it can play in the first position because it's got close range. So you're going to want that. I think all I'll say on that for blue. We'll go check on, if you don't have Torhilo, one of those is a good idea. Oceanus keeps falling, and this is a tank. Yep, there you go. And I'm going to pop back over to Peak Monsters quick. We did green, we're going to do white now. It's going to be a heck of a thing to edit when I do chip these down. The tanks for white team. Modern cards. Regular foil. Twilight Conjurer, must have it. Gargoyle Lion, must have it. Blinding Reflector is pretty decent as a little league tank with the Magic Reflect. It's decent. It's not a carry card. It's not amazing. Chain Spinner is an interesting opportunity also because of the Void Armor, but again, more so, it's like a small utility card that you can use when you get those equalizer rule sets, okay? What else? Warrior of Peace is a great card. Yeah, that's about it. I don't love this one, apparently. I zoomed past a bunch of cards. I must not really love the white team. For the cheap cards, like if we went all the way out down to the bottom, we're going to see some great cards. Legionnaire is a neutral card. You're going to, the Shield Bearer is really, really good, but these are so expensive. Okay, so white is a bit of a rough one. They're just a couple small Little League ones. So if you're playing a lot of white, I would say maybe look to the Dragon and the neutral cards, but definitely you're going to want these guys. Okay, so we were looking at Reward, Untamed, Dice, and Chaos. And we had looked at Dragon, Neutral, and I think we just didn't look at Death. Yeah, we're just going to finish out here. We're Looking at tank-specific cards that apply to the death team, which ones are must-have? Pellicore Deceiver is too cheap not to have. At the lowest levels, it's a fine card. It's not a great card, it's a fine card. It has very little attack, but it has a good amount of hit points with the flying. That's great. When you start to get into silver, you're decent to attack with 9 hit points. Very reasonable for a 5 mana card. This is a must-have card at silver, probably at bronze, definitely at gold, and definitely at champion. Like I said, Gargoyle Lion, Disintegrator at the highest levels. Phantasm, I like. Flying, return fire is especially key now that we have so much more amplify in the game. And it's a very reasonable 6 mana cost. I don't love the hit points at this level, at like the bronze, or sorry, at the silver level. It's a little low in the number of hit points, but it's got a great speed, plus flying makes it very dodgy, right? It's gonna sneak around a lot of attackers. Free attack is very reasonable. And return fire, like I say, is increasingly beneficial because of all the amplify. So this is a card I definitely strongly recommend for 40 cents. This is a card that you probably want as a interesting option during Little League or Equalizer matches because it has a good amount of armor at the higher levels. Well, really, if you're in gold or above, you don't really mess around with it at the lowest levels. But gold and above, it's got it gets up to 7 armor. Plus, in Equalizer matches, that's going to be a full, hit points are going to be great. Plus, I love these monsters that have one hit point with some armor because they can be a great distraction for those opportunity attackers that are going to come at you. So I like this card for 30, 40, 50 cents. You get a few of them, I'd say. It's something it's an old card. It's a dice card. So you're not going to get it for free in any sort of starter deck. That's something it's got utility. I love the Nightmare. It's one of my favorite cards. It's a must-have card, especially at gold and above. At the lower levels, it's still quite fast and it's got blast, but I think you need it at least in the silver range to really for it to make sense. You're talking like 50, 60 copies times 40 cents, 24 bucks-ish. Rex is great, but only at the highest levels because he's too slow. So, and Spellsmith, right? He's not a tank, but remember, he's the one that we're all going to need because of the Amplify. And like I said, Amplify in conjunction with Phantasm. So you get the Phantasm in the first position. This is also like an off tank, Riftwing, because it's got a good amount of, it's got flying, it's got scavenger. This is a card. This is one of the new must-have cards, and it's only in 17 cents. That's crazy. Listen to this. At the lowest levels, it's got 5 hit points, which is great. With Scavenger, which is really amazing. 5 hit points plus Scavenger is amazing. 3 speed is a good speed, plus flying is a very dodgeable, sneaky little monster. It has no attack, but I don't care. It's going to dodge and it's going to scavenge. And then that's at the bronze level. When you start getting up here into gold, you're looking at 4 speed plus 7 hit points. This thing is serious. I'm going to buy some right now. I'm going to buy another, what, maybe 50? Yeah, that's only 1600 DC. Yes, please. This is a card that is like, you maybe weren't thinking about for a tank, but it is a tank. It's a tank because it has Scavenge, which is going to give it lots more hit points. It's a tank because it's evasive, and that evasiveness is going to make it stay alive longer. It's a tank because it has Backfire, which is like a small way to contribute against your enemy. And it's like an off tank with a 4 mana cost. I think is really good. Of course, it's going to be victimized by magic, but you play it in the right context. That Shadow Stitch is good at higher levels, but it's not a tank at lower levels that I would recommend. So that's it, guys. Pellicore Deceiver, Riftwing, Phantasm are my 3 must-haves for like the inexpensive. And then Marrow's Ghost is an interesting option. Nightmare is really great at higher levels. And yeah, I already commented on some of these neutrals and dragons. Bone Golem is powerful, but for that price, I'm going to say it's not must-have. It's a good card though, and I have it and I use it all the time. Okay, so that's the full thing. We did all of them. We did fire, we did water, earth, life, death, and then in conjunction with the dragon and the neutral for each of them. Guys, thank you for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. God bless.